Hello students, welcome to all. This is Amol Palve. Today we are going to study the chapter number 12 of 11th standard, that is magnetism. So let's start the chapter number 12, magnetism. See, in the last chapter we already studied about the relationship between electric field and the electric forces and the forces due to electric charges and electric dipole. So this concept about electricity we already covered in a last chapter, that is electrostatic chapter. Here some analogous concepts like electricity which we have to study in magnetism also. Magnetism, many concepts of magnetism are analogous to electricity, but except here only consider one thing, that like charges, isolated charges are existed there, means on any body only positive charges are there or negative charges are accessed there. Like that charges, here one thing is different in the magnetism, that magnetic poles do not exist in isolation. So here, and we always have a magnetic dipole or a quadrupole. We have magnetic dipole or quadrupole, but magnetic pole, single pole does not exist, monopole does not exist here. So this is the one difference in magnetism only. So let's see, in this chapter we have to study about magnetism. So let's start the first point in the magnetism, that is magnetic line of forces. See, in electrostatics we already studied the electric line of forces. So here in magnetism we have to study magnetic lines of force and magnetic field. Magnetic line of force and magnetic field. Magnetic line of force and magnetic field. So let's study it. So here we know the properties of electric line of force. There we already studied it in electrostatics. So here similarly, in a similar manner, magnetic line of force originates from north pole and ends on south pole. So like electric line of forces, here first property we say here, the magnetic line of forces are originate from north pole and ends on south. So magnetic line of force are originate from north pole and ends on south pole. The magnetic line of force have the magnet following properties. So magnetic line of force have following properties. Let's see one by one. First property of magnetic line of force, like electric line of force, we have to study here the properties of magnetic line of force. The magnetic line of force of a magnet or a solenoid form closed loops. So magnetic line of forces form closed loop here. So first property here, magnetic line of force form closed loop. In a magnet or in a solenoid they form a closed loop. This is in contrast to the case of electric dipole, where the electric line of force originated from positive charge and ends on the negative charge. See here, like electric line of forces which form loop in case of electric dipole, similarly here the magnetic lines of force form closed loop in case of magnet or solenoid here, because here the electric lines in case of electric dipole, the electric lines are originate from positive end and ends on negative charge. So second property of magnetic line or lines of force is, the second property is the direction of the net magnetic field B bar at a point is given by the tangent to the magnetic line of force at that point. So here, similar to electric lines of force, here the direction of magnetic lines is obtained by the direction of magnetic line or magnetic field B bar is obtained by tangent drawn to magnetic line of forces at any point. So if we draw a tangent to the magnetic line of force at any point, then that tangent gives the direction of magnetic field B bar. So this is similar to the similar property of the electric line of force is there. So here this is the second property, which is about the direction. We get the direction of electric line of forces by drawing the tangent to the magnetic line at any point. Now the next, the number of line of forces crossing per unit area decide the magnitude of magnetic field B bar. So magnitude of magnetic field B bar is equal to number of magnetic line lines of force, number of magnetic lines of force crossing per unit area. So here, how many lines crossing per unit area? The number of magnetic line crossing per unit area decides the magnitude of magnetic field there. So this one is the third property. For the magnetic line of forces do not intersect each other. Like electric line of forces, here magnetic lines of force do not intersect each other. So this one is the fourth property, do not intersect each other. This is because, so why they do not intersect each other? This is because had they intersected, the direction of magnetic field would not be unique at that point. जर ते intersect झाले, if the magnetic lines are intersect with each other, then the magnetic field or the direction of magnetic field would not be unique at that point there. So that's why the magnetic lines of force do not intersect with each other. Now next, about the density of line of force, that is, so here the number of lines of force per unit area around a particular point determines the strength of magnetic field at that point. Here we study the magnitude of magnetic field is known as the depend upon the number of magnetic line of force crossing per unit area. So here we can say that this number of magnetic lines of force crossing the per unit area determines the strength of magnetic field at that point. So if we have to derive how the magnetic field is there at any point, how the magnetic field is there, whether it is strong or it is weak. So it decides how many number of magnetic lines of force crossing the area at that point. So the number of line of force is called magnetic flux. So we know, like electric flux, the number of magnetic lines or the number of line of force, the number of lines of force is called magnetic flux, which is denoted by phi, and it is denoted by phi. Okay, so the SI unit of magnetic flux phi is, so SI unit of SI unit of magnetic flux is Weber. We measure the magnetic flux in Weber there. in short, we write the symbol for Weber is WB. Okay, so here the magnetic magnetic lines of force is called magnetic flux, that is Weber, and we know the magnetic flux crossing per unit area is the magnitude of magnetic field. Therefore, the magnitude of magnetic field, that is B, the magnitude of magnetic field, we know the magnitude of magnetic field is magnetic induction and it is equal to B, and we know the B is equal to number of magnetic line of force crossing per unit area, and that magnetic line of force is called magnetic flux, so phi upon A there. So from this we can define B is equal to phi magnetic flux upon area, that is B is equal to phi upon A, where B is called the magnetic strength of magnetic field, that is we can call it as a magnetic induction or magnetic field, and the SI unit of magnetic field is Tesla, or here the unit of phi is Weber and unit of area is meter square. So this unit is SI unit is here Tesla or Weber per meter square. So these are the SI unit of magnetic field there. Now here note down the one relation is there, 1 Tesla is equal to 10 raised to 4 Gauss, where Gauss is the unit in CGS system and Tesla is the unit in SI system. So 1 Tesla is equal to 10 raised to 4 Gauss. This is the unit of magnetic field. So this is about the magnetic field and magnetic line of force or some properties of the magnetic line of forces. Now let's study the next point, which is bar magnet. Now let's discuss about bar magnet. What is the bar magnet here? Let's see what is bar magnet. A bar magnet is said to have magnetic pole strength plus Qm and minus Qm at north and south poles respectively. So see, if we draw here a diagram of bar magnet, then it is like this. See here, I draw a diagram here. See here. So bar magnet. So bar magnet is what? It is a here. This one is the magnet here, and on the bar magnet, two poles are there. Okay, one is north pole and another is south pole. So here on the pole strength, sorry. So see here, now on the bar magnet is said to have a magnetic pole strength plus Qm and minus Qm. So here this is the pole strength here and here at this point. Okay, the pole strength is plus Q and minus Q. This is the north pole and we said this is the south pole. Okay, now plus Qm is the pole strength of north pole and minus Qm is the pole strength of south pole respectively. The separation of magnetic dipole, the separation of magnetic pole inside the magnet is 2L. The separation of magnetic pole means this one. So the separation of magnetic pole, that is the distance between north and south pole, this separation is 2L. 2L here, as the bar magnet has two poles with equal and opposite pole strength, it is called magnetic dipole. So simply here we can say that an arrangement in which two equal and opposite poles separated by some finite distance is called magnetic dipole. So this is here what? Magnetic dipole. This is here magnetic dipole is there. So this is the magnetic dipole, in which, see what is magnetic dipole? Magnetic dipole, as the bar magnet has two poles with equal and opposite pole strength, it is called a magnetic dipole. This is analogous to electric dipole, because in the electric dipole there are two charges, two equal and opposite charges separated by some distance there. Here two equal and opposite pole strength are separated by some distance. Now the magnetic dipole moment, from this we can define the next here, the magnetic dipole moment. Let's see what is the magnetic dipole moment. Now magnetic dipole moment is the product of pole strength and length between the two poles. So here the magnetic dipole moment therefore becomes m bar is equal to pole strength Qm into 2L bar. That is the separation between two poles, and Qm is the pole strength. So 2L bar is a vector from, so here 2L bar is a vector which is directed from south pole to north pole, that is negative pole strength to positive pole strength, south pole to north pole. So this pole strength is directed from south pole to north pole. Okay. So here 2L bar is a vector from south pole to north pole, and it is analogous to electric dipole moment, because electric dipole moment is also directed from negative charge to positive charge. Now here SI unit of pole strength, the SI unit of pole strength, SI unit of pole strength is SI unit of pole strength is ampere meter. AM, ampere meter, current into length. So SI unit of pole strength is ampere meter, and SI unit of magnetic dipole moment, that is of magnetic dipole moment, SI unit of magnetic dipole moment is here ampere meter square. So see, SI unit of pole strength is ampere meter, and SI unit of magnetic dipole moment is ampere meter square. So in case of bar magnet, let's study the next definition, that is the axis of magnet. See, what is the definition for axis of magnet? Axis of magnet. Now it is the line passing through both the poles. Axis means it is the line. Axis is nothing but the line passing through both the poles, north and south poles. So axis is the line passing through both the poles of a bar magnet. Poles of a bar magnet. Poles of a bar magnet. Obviously, there is only one axis for a given bar magnet. So here, if this is the bar magnet here, then which is the axis? Axis is the line which is passing through both the poles. So here only one line here which is passing through pole, and that is called the axis of the magnet. Okay. Now here next definition about the bar magnet is equator. Let's see what is the definition. What is equator there? So equator is a line passing through the center of magnet. So it is a line passing through center. So equator is a line which is passing through center and perpendicular to magnet. plane of magnet. So equator is a line which is passing through center and perpendicular to plane of magnet, that is called equator. That is called equator, and that is magnetic equator. The plane containing all equators is called equatorial plane. So here the plane containing all equator, that is called equatorial plane. So equatorial plane means what? It is containing the plane which is containing all the equator, that is called equatorial plane. Because here see, say axis is only one, but we can draw the number of equator there, because equator is a line here. Now here, if this passing through center and perpendicular to plane of magnet, so here the plane of magnet containing all equators is called the equatorial plane. The locus of points on the equatorial plane which are equidistant from the center of the magnet is called equatorial circle. So after equatorial plane, if we take the locus of all locus of points the locus of points on equatorial plane. So if we take the locus of all point on equatorial plane, which are, see that points which are equidistant from the center of the magnet. Equidistant from the center of magnet is called equatorial circle. So after equatorial plane, let's see the next definition, equatorial circle. This is equatorial circle. Now the popularly known, for example, which are the equator? The popularly known equator in geography is actually an equatorial circle. Such a circle with any diameter is an equatorial. So in geography, the popular equator is equatorial circle, and such a equatorial circle, the circle with any diameter is an equator. So let's see the next definition about the magnetic, the bar magnet, that is magnetic length. Magnetic length. So let's see what is the magnetic length here. Magnetic length, it is the distance, magnetic length. Actually, what is the magnetic length? Magnetic length is the distance between two poles of magnet. Magnetic length is the distance between two poles of magnet there. Magnetic length is the distance between two poles of magnet. So here, if we have here, see one relation is there in terms of magnetic length. So if we have to find out the magnetic length from the actual length of bar magnet, then it is magnetic length is equal to 5/6 into geometrical length. So geometrical length and magnetic length, what is the difference between two? See, geometric length means it is the distance between two ends of the magnet. So actual, according to geometry, if we measure the distance of magnet, then it is geometrical length, and the distance between two poles is the magnetic length. Let's see in a diagram, let's try to understand what is magnetic length and what is geometrical length. See here, suppose this one is the bar magnet. See, in case of bar magnet, which is geometrical length and which is magnetic length. Suppose this one is the bar magnet. Here is the south pole. Here is north pole. Okay. Now, the distance between South Pole and North Pole, it is the magnetic length which is denoted by 2L. See, magnetic length is denoted by 2L. L means the distance of each pole from the center. So, this distance is called L here. So, L plus L, it becomes 2L. So, this is what 2L. 2L is what? Magnetic length. So, what is the geometric length? See here, if we measure the length between two ends, according to geometry, the length of magnet is this. So, it is called geometric length. Distance between two edges, two length, whatever you called it. So, to understand it, let's see. I called it the distance between two edges or actual two ends of the magnet. And here, if we measure the distance between two length, 2L magnetic length, and magnetic distance between two poles, then it is magnetic length. Magnetic length is always less than geometric length, because the poles are not situated exactly at the end. They are situated nearer to the end point. Here, South Pole and North Pole are not exactly situated at the ends of the magnet. They are situated nearer to edge, nearer to end of the magnet. So, the magnetic length is always less than the geometrical length, because geometrical length, it is the distance between two ends actually. So, and poles are not situated at the ends. Therefore, the geometrical length is greater than magnetic length, and the relation magnetic length is 5/6 into geometrical length. And note down one important thing here. The magnetic length is denoted by 2L. Okay, magnetic length is denoted by 2L. So here today I stop here. Now in the next lecture we study about the next point. We will study the next topic from this chapter. Thank you.